Hello, my friends. Today's reading is going to be about this plant-based agenda that the British government, American and European governments are all pushing. I'm speaking purely as someone from Britain, so I'm going to do it from the Brits' point of view. But equally, I know how important it is to America and Europe, especially the Netherlands. These farmers having their farms taken forcibly from them, making their livelihoods impossible to carry out. Animals basically being persecuted, saying that they are the cause of global warming and that we all need to be eating plant-based foods and these dreadful insect-based foods they're trying to push on us. So I want to find out whether the public will go for this or whether the public at large will see through this as the Frankenstein food that it really is. When you look at the ingredients on these plant-based meals and burgers, and you see dozens upon dozens of ingredients, additives, preservatives, all the chemicals involved in creating these foods, and then you look at basically a cut of beef, an egg, your animal-based products, butter, and they have one ingredient. So, that tells me an awful lot. It tells me what your body is meant to eat. So, but this is my opinion, my channel. Everybody is entitled to believe what they think, but I want to know from my cards what they feel. What energy do they feel regarding this plant-based agenda? How will the British public in general react when the thumb screws start coming on and they're really forcing these plant-based foods and insect-based flowers and goodies knows what on us? So I've already shuffled, and I just want to throw a few cards just to get a general feeling. The public's feeling, please, regarding plant-based agenda and specifically these insect-based flowers, crisps, and all these foods. That are being pushed to us. So it tells me an awful lot actually here. The public, let's just move these along a little bit. The public are walking away from it. They aren't interested. They go into the supermarkets and they see shelves where once there was more sort of natural foods, there was more animal products, and they've all been shifted along, and next to them you have these chemical burgers and these plastic fake Frankenstein foods, and the public are basically walking away from them. They're leaving these produce on the shelf. One or two might go, but I think on the whole there's going to be an awful lot left over, because the public aren't buying it. They want proper meat, they want proper food. Not everybody, and those people who want these plant-based meals and everything, they can buy them, and that's absolutely fine. But the things that I'm talking about is this being forced on everybody, this being forced on people, and the farmers being forced to cut their production of meat, because the agenda is that this is bad for the planet. So I think the public aren't buying it. They can see the deception with it. They can see that it's a very dark subject. The sun, if it had been that way up, then I would say, oh yeah, the public are quite happy with it. They think that it's good for their children. They see that the sun has made these crops grow, and it's healthy and everyone should be happy with this. But we're in reverse. I see this as being very shadowy. They know that a lot of this is chemically chemically made in laboratories. There's nothing that the sun shone on here, you know. It was all made in a laboratory. It's certainly not healthy for the children. This is going to do long-term damage in the future, all of these terrible chemicals coming into our nutrition, and the public see that this isn't proper food, and they want proper food, nourishing food. And we have Six of Pentacles. That is like the reciprocity charity card, give and take. But this way out, I just see it as taking, you know. It's all about the money and all about big food industry, you know. You say big pharma, and now I sort of say big food industry, taking from the people. We want your money. We don't care what impact this has on your health. You might be on your knees at the end of this, because the food that we're dishing out to you is not going to be beneficial to your health, but we don't care because it's making us a lot of money. Just like the drugs in the health industry, we don't care that, you know, every drug has a side effect. It's making us money, and you're just the little people, and you know, you're the one whose money we're taking, and we're very happy to do that. It's all take and no give. And here we go. This way up, we've got the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is, I can't be bothered with this. You know, I really cannot be bothered with this. When it's the other way up, I see this as being, well, you're giving us no choice. You know, we don't want this at all. You're trying to force this on us, and we really do not want this. We want to have more of a choice of meat. We don't want our meat prices to be going through the roof, because you know, you're making this impossible for the farmers. You know, we as people don't want to be in this situation. We don't want this fake food, and we want to be able to put our point of view and say, you know, this is the kind of food that we want. We want something that's going to nourish us, and we choose not to have this fake food. This is not what we want. Let's just have a few more cards. And what does the food industry, what is their main thought on this? I think this one sums it up nicely, that they don't really care. As long as they're making money, they don't really care. What is the food industry's goal with all of this? You know what the goal is, but what would cards tell us? What would cards tell us about the food industry's goal? Just say whatever cards you care to show me regarding the food industry and their motivations, their goals behind all of this. I'll do one more. If it doesn't flip, then I'll take from the top. Oh, I'll take those. Okay, so the food industry. We've got the Seven of Coins, Seven of Pentacles. They're putting a lot of work into this, and you know, a lot of advertising, a lot of positivity. You know, this is wonderful. Oh my goodness, you know, this is such great food for your future, for your children. It's better for the planet. But they know that this is just not really rubbing off. They're putting in so much effort into saying how great this is, and their publicity, but they know that we aren't buying it. They know that they're falling on their head with this. They're stocking up the supermarkets with this fake food, and the actual turnaround of it, the actual take up of it, is nowhere near what they were hoping it would be, because people have a choice, and you know, they aren't blind to their choice. You know, you can either choose to eat meat, or you can choose to eat plants, you know, or you can be omnivores and eat a little bit of everything, which most people do, let's face it. So people always have a choice, and although you know, the choice is there, I think people feel like their choices are being taken away to some extent, you know, because prices are going through the roof, you know, and so now people, rather than having a wide choice of food, now they're left with foods that, you know, what can they afford? What is affordable? And quite often, you know, some of these ready meal, burgery, cheap, rubbishy things are actually more affordable than steak, So, you know, it works out what path do you take to feed your family well, you know, and you really can be at a crossroads here. And the industry is probably taking advantage of that. You know, they can make these things and not them out quite cheaply. And they know that people will probably buy these things because of the price, you know, rather than buying steak and, you know, good cuts of meat. So, you know, they know that they've got you over a barrel a little bit there because everybody has money concerns. There you are, and here is the money concern. These are greedy misers, these people within the food industry. They don't care. Again, it comes down to this one. They don't care about your health. They don't care about anything rather than making a profit, and any money that they make, they hang on to. They don't spend their money on health education. They don't spend their money on anything other than growing their own business and making more money for themselves. So that's where I see the food industry, just making it very difficult for us to eat healthily because it's too expensive to eat healthily. And then the other choice is eat plant-based. There you are. Eat plant-based because it is cheaper. And here we go. Seven of Swords. It's deceptive. Oh, you know, this is all good food. It's plant-based, you know, it's from the earth, you know, the sun's nourished it, it's local. Well, chances are it's not local. Chances are it's from a laboratory. The sun didn't nourish it. The sun was upside down because the sun was nowhere near it. It was all made in a petri dish in a laboratory with goodness knows what being added to it. And it's just pure deception. Pure deception. So will this meat-free agenda work? I'm calling it meat-free. Plant-based agenda, getting us to eat bugs. I'm not talking about people that choose to be vegetarian. If you choose to be vegetarian, if you choose to be vegan, that's wonderful. But I'm talking about being forced into buying food that is very, very chemically mass-produced and has very, very little nutritional value. And the good sources of food being made too expensive for us, and farmers being persecuted basically by the business. So I want to know, will this agenda work, or will these companies start falling flat on their faces because the people do not want that kind of food? So yeah, people have choices. So we've got the nostalgia card here with the Six of Cups, and I think people look back to, I mean, when I was a child in the 70s, you know, and people do look back at, you know, past times about when food was much more simple. You know, you bought fruit when it was seasonal, you bought vegetables when they were seasonal. There weren't massive choices of fruit from all over the world. You know, you couldn't go up and buy pineapples and goodness knows what, and mangoes and whatever the weather. You couldn't do things like that. I think people look back and think things were much better when there was just the choice of, you know, vegetables locally grown, fruit locally grown, and, you know, meat from your local farm. And it was a much healthier way. People were healthier, people were happier. We didn't have takeaways on every corner, and we didn't have the obesity problem because people weren't just living on massively high carbohydrate food, massively processed food. This was a better time. And we're looking at it now. There's so much choice, but, you know, choice, yeah, it can be a great thing, but sometimes when you look at your choices, they aren't all they're cracked up to be. You might get a couple of good choices, but, you know, sometimes these choices are, really, do you really want to eat that? Think about it. You know, when you actually look at what are in these cups, some of the things are very dark indeed, you know. So you might have more choices, but choices of what? Are those choices actually impacting on your health? You know, what choices have you seriously got? And then the moon. So, you know, I think people do see that this is deception, that basically farming and agriculture, what makes Britain, a farming country, what makes, our farmers, what makes our farmers what they are, is just honest toil, honest work, good food, locally produced food where possible, not grain fed, grass fed beef. And I think the public see that, there's an awful lot of deception in this plant-based agenda. Too many chemicals, too much money involved, too much force into these companies telling us what is good for us, rather than, actually really sitting back and thinking to ourselves, actually this can't be good. Look at all these ingredients on it. So they see the deception. I think that this is going to be an agenda that will fail. I'm just going to pull from the bottom of the pack and just see what comes up from the bottom of the pack as the underlying issue with all of this. The underlying issue with this fake meat, fake food agenda. Will these companies actually succeed? No, I don't believe they will. We've got the Five of Swords. This is like the total conflict card. He's won a battle, but he's won it by bullying. But when it's upside down, no. I think that the good people have won. That the person that was being the bully, no. You don't get good things in life by pressurizing people and by pushing an agenda on them that is unfair and unjust. So I think people are going to not buy this stuff in the end. They might try it, but I think all of the coercion, all of the manipulation, they will fall on their heads with this. And I think that all of these plant-based meals and things, they will all fall by the wayside. They won't make the money that they are hoping that they will make. And people's nostalgia for, the way things were, people's nostalgia for, good food, homegrown food will come back, and things will do a full circle, and this agenda will not succeed. So that's my thoughts, and I hope you enjoyed that one, and I'm sure you have your own opinions on that. But as I say, my channel, my ideas, my cards, and I hope you enjoyed that perspective. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.